Comparison between the regular season and the playoffs for Justin Herbert, not great. Did this game hurt Herbert's reputation?
I mean, it has to. I mean, this was the only thing Herbert could hang his hat on all year from a statistical perspective that he had a good year. Not a great year, even a good year, didn't throw picks.
Right.
That was the only calling card he had the whole season, because everything else about their defense and Harbaugh, and statistically, it was just the interceptions, and he throws 4 in a playoff game. This was Gary Anderson in 1998, the Vikings kicker, who going into a kick to make the Super Bowl was 106 of 106 on all kicks that year, and then gagged a 38-yarder. This is the thing you've done perfectly all year, and then the worst spot ever, you do it terribly. And now Herbert is in this. He's played 2 playoff games, and he's found himself in this group. Since he's been in the league, who has thrown 4 picks in a playoff game and lost? It is Herbert, and it is Big Ben. What about your other playoff game? Since he's been in the league, who has blown a 20-point lead in the playoffs, and his was 27? It's just Herbert, and he's played essentially, Greg, 3 playoff games. 2 playoff games, and then the Week 18 win in your end game a couple years ago. How's he done? In those 3 games, not only are they 0-3, his completion percentage is down 15%, his yards per pass is down 10%, his touchdown interception ratio goes in the tank, his pass rating goes in the tank. Like, we're a half decade into your career, man. You're paid like a superstar. You've been in 3 big spots, and you've been bad in all 3 of the games.
This is such nonsense. This is such nonsense for so many different reasons. 2 of Justin Herbert's coaches will never coach in the NFL ever again as head coaches. Ever. Ever. He's had a inconsistent offensive lineup. You people are acting like he's been set up with these all-pro Hall of Fame weapons. And it's just not true. It's just not accurate. He's been on bad teams with bad coaching. Like, what do you want him to do? The one year that he actually had some decent players that were healthy and a great OC, he balled out. Then he lost that coordinator. Had a terrible head coach who's fired, who will not coach ever in the NFL ever again. People are... This season, his number 1 wide receiver is a 6-foot rookie slot receiver who was drafted in the 2nd round. And they had no run game. What do you want him to do? In this game, he was pressured nonstop. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't catch the ball. They had like 4 or 5 drops in the game. And they couldn't pass protect. They couldn't, pass block. What do you want him to do? They couldn't catch, they couldn't run, and they couldn't protect Justin Herbert. And yet you want him to be able to succeed in this situation? Do you know how insane that is? The 1 interception was 100% not his fault. The last interception, dude, they were already down. He just had to let it rip. The Texans knew it. He had to just launch it. He has to just get rid of it. So that interception, get out of the way. So he had 2 real interceptions, undeniable. And it wasn't that he just choked. He had to make plays. In the regular season, you can just live for another down. You can live for another week. This is do or die in the playoffs. So yeah, he had to do more. He had to be more aggressive. It's just so ridiculous here. And you say, oh, this hurts his reputation. Guys, look at this. Okay? This was Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. 270 yards, 5.5 yards per attempt, 2 interceptions, multiple sacks, a QBR of, a passer rating of 52. They at least were able to run the ball for 107 yards. And everyone says that's not Mahomes' fault. Does anyone say Mahomes choked? Mahomes did this, Mahomes did that? No, they do not. No, they do not. And that was with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, literal all-time great Hall of Famers, all pros, absolute studs. No one can deny that. No one can deny that. Justin Herbert, who again, his number 1 weapon is a second rounder slot receiver. They can't run the ball. They run the ball. They rush the ball 50 yards. 50 yards. He got sacked 4 times. I mean, he was pressured like 18, 19, 20 times. Had a passer rating of 40. Yards per attempt, 7.6, actually more than Patrick Mahomes. 242 yards. Actually was able to throw a touchdown. And again, remove 2 of his interceptions. At the very least, remove one of those interceptions that tipped off. Disley dropped the ball, would have been a touchdown. Or at the very least, it definitely would have been, right there. I mean, that matters. Those things matter. I am not out here telling you that Justin Herbert played this great game. I'm not saying he secretly played a great game. What I'm telling you is that this was a 5-win team last season. And this team has no weapons. None. And in the playoffs, they could not protect Justin Herbert. They could not catch the ball. Justin Herbert's literally throwing to his receivers and they're just dropping it or flicking it up and now being intercepted. And you want to put that on Justin Herbert? And look at PFF's rankings of this. All right. Justin Herbert in this playoff game had a 60. Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl had a 65. That's PFF's advanced analytics and breakdowns of this game based off of turnover-worthy plays, interceptions, big-time throws, accuracy, all that. So that's right there, right within range. And that's with Justin Herbert with an obviously, clearly worse team. Without Tyreek Hill, without Travis Kelce, without a run game. So you have to put things in context. And no, don't be like, well, that was a Super Bowl, or Patrick Mahomes already proved, etc., etc. Patrick Mahomes was on a better team. And I don't want to bring up Patrick Mahomes in this moment, but it's the perfect gold standard. I don't hold Patrick Mahomes I don't hold him accountable for that game, for that loss. I use that game as proof that, see, you got to have a team around you. Because people always want to say, oh, Patrick Mahomes played great, and he's not playing so great, but he doesn't have any weapons, or oh, he does it with no one. They always want to pick and choose when they want to say he's doing it with help or he's not doing it with help. When he plays poorly, they'll say, well, what do you want him to do? He had no O-line. But when he plays great, they don't want to give any credit to anyone else. So that's what I use this. But I don't use this as proof that Patrick Mahomes is bad. Oh, Patrick Mahomes choked. Patrick Mahomes' stats in the Super Bowl are significantly lower than in the regular season and just in the playoffs in general. They drop down. He's under a 90 passer rating. Has 5 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, I think. Or 5 interceptions in 4, Super Bowls. I don't use that as a reference point to say, oh, Patrick Mahomes is overrated. Oh, Patrick Mahomes choked. I use those points as evidence that the Chiefs win and are successful because of not just Patrick Mahomes. Not to say that Patrick Mahomes isn't elite. Not to say that Patrick Mahomes isn't special. People keep using that as a jumping off point as me saying that Patrick Mahomes doesn't elevate the Chiefs. He obviously does. The Kansas City Chiefs would not win Super Bowls if they didn't have Patrick Mahomes. I think they would also win some Super Bowls if they had Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, but I'm not out here saying that they would be winning Super Bowls with Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott, Gardner Minshew. Not saying that either. But what I am also saying about Justin Herbert is that he did not have a great game. No question about it. He also does not have a great team around him. They rushed for 50 yards. 50 yards. Their biggest run was 8. They could not run the ball. They could not protect him. He was being harassed all game, and his receivers fundamentally could not catch the ball. And you want Justin Herbert to somehow overcome this. I don't know what you're talking about here. Was that throw across his body, across the field? Was that a great throw? No, it was not. No, it was not. But these quarterbacks throw interceptions and make mistakes all the time. Like I said, Patrick Mahomes has 5 interceptions. 5 interceptions in 4 Super Bowls. He threw one of the worst picks against the 49ers this, last season. So no. If his receivers actually caught the ball and his offensive line could actually just kind of protect him and they could just kind of run the ball, this game changes completely. If they could just catch the ball, take away the run game, take away the O-line, if they could just catch the ball, the score and the unfolding of this game completely changes. If just Disley catches the ball right there, the score and the game completely changes. This was a 5-win team. And they were able to get to the 5th seed. That's really impressive. So yeah, you can go use this as a means to rip Justin Herbert. And as proof, he's not good. Okay. Well, I'll listen to actual scouts and people that actually really know, like John Middlecoff. Justin Herbert is elite. He is a special quarterback. He is a top quarterback in the NFL. He has not been given the platform to be able to prove that just yet. He is not the type of quarterback who will be able to overcome a bad O-line and wide receivers who drop the ball. He does not have that physical skill set. It is why I think quarterbacks like Lamar, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes are better. Because they can overcome that more so than a Justin Herbert. But it's just so funny that, again, throughout this whole season, people were defending Patrick Mahomes. He has no weapons. What do you want him to do? That's why he's not playing well. That's why his numbers are down. And now Justin Herbert has that. And you just want him to somehow succeed. It just doesn't make sense, man. It just does not make sense. So, yeah. I'm defending it. Just wait till next year. Just wait till next year. Just wait. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Justin Herbert? Has this game changed the way you view Justin Herbert? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.